Finally, we come to the dreaded Part 2 of writing for IELTS. Never mind, if you have average intelligence and an intermediate level of English, you will do well with this. Don't worry. Let's get on with it. The really important things about Part 2, writing for IELTS. You have 40 minutes for this part. Do not waste your time. Start as soon as you can. Once you've committed to starting on Part 2, don't look around the room. Don't chew your pencil. Just get on with it. Start planning your essay, and I'll show you how to do that soon. You must write approximately 250 words. Do you remember how to count the words as I showed in the previous lesson? Right, we don't count them, do we? We should by now already know how many words we write per line and how many lines we will need, and we should have a pretty good idea of how much of the paper that takes up. Right. The examiner wants to easily see where each paragraph starts and ends. Therefore, it's a very good idea to separate each paragraph with a blank line. And to make your essay more formal, you should indent the first line of each paragraph. There are arguments where people will say, you don't need to do both of these. I suggest it's a good idea to do both. That way no examiner can punish you for not doing either. Some examiners prefer indents, some prefer the blank line. But if you do both, you've satisfied them all. If you present your essay without an indication as to where paragraphs start and end, the examiner will not want to read it. Presentation is very important in this section of IELTS. So what do I mean by indent and blank space? All right. Here is an example. Let's have a look at this question. As computers are being used more and more in education, there will be soon no role for teachers in the classroom. And under that, you can see the beginnings of the essay. What do we notice? Between the first and second paragraph, there's a blank line. At the beginning of each paragraph, there is an indent. When an examiner looks at this, he sees it's well set out. He says to himself, this candidate knows what is expected. That's great. Indent. Blank line. Indent. Got it? Fail to do this, you will fail. Can you see how easy it is for the examiner to locate where the paragraphs start? The tired examiner won't bother with sloppy work. If it looks as he expects, the examiner will read it carefully. This sets you out, sets you above other candidates who hand in sloppy work. Question: how many paragraphs should you write in a discursive or argumentative essay? And you should try to convert any essay you get in Part 2 into this format. You'll hear different ideas on this. But what I've always taught, and it has always worked very well for my students, is that in an argumentative essay, 5 is the absolute magic number of paragraphs. Not 4, not 3, not more than 5, but 5. And I will show you why. So let's take a look at what goes in the 5 magic paragraphs that get the best score. Here we go. Planning your essay. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. As in any presentation or essay, this is the magic formula. First, tell the reader what you're going to tell him or her. Next, tell him. And then tell him what you just told him. This is the formula that wins in presentations and in essays. Tell the reader what you're going to tell him. Tell him. Tell him what you just told him. Sounds a bit strange, but it's the formula that works. Paragraph 1. You have to restate the question, but use different words if you can. And also, here you have to give an indication of your opinion. Then, in paragraph 2, you have to give an argument as to why the question statement may be correct. In paragraph 3, you then have to concede that the question statement may not be correct, and why that could be so. Here is the all-important paragraph, paragraph number 4, the one that makes you better than other IELTS candidates. Here's where you say why your opinion is the correct one. And paragraph number 5 is the conclusion. You restate the question again and restate your opinion, but try to use different words. If we go back to the formula that I'd said earlier, the 3-step formula, here's where it happens. In paragraph number 1, by restating the question and giving your opinion, you're telling the reader what you're about to tell him. In paragraphs 2, 3 and 4, this is where you tell him all about it. And in paragraph number 5, by restating the question and restating your opinion, you're telling him what you just told him. This is how your essay for part 2 must be planned. In our next lesson, we're going to say what it is that you need to put in paragraph 1. See you there.